Issues and problems in your life that you want to break away from and feel like you can't. Do you wonder, how can I be free from these issues that have destroyed my life? Well, my friend, I have the answer. Bible Way Hibner Memorial Church of God in Christ presents Chain Breakers, this and every Sunday at 9 a.m. here on WHYL.
From the L.B. Smith Ford Lincoln Studios, Oldies 102.9 is WHYL Carlisle.
John Rainville here at Brokers Realty on the Real Estate Radio guys.
Anywho, did you?
And my co-host Kingsley Harmer.
Did you see that fog on the way in this morning?
Yeah, it was cool when I drove up on top of the mountain, then down into the valley because the fog was laying in low.
Oh, you couldn't see anything.
Yeah,
it was pretty neat actually. I was like, wait, what the heck am I in California all of a sudden?
Right. It was. But it's sunny. It was sun's out, so it's nice. I mean, last night, boy, it poured.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like monsoon.
Heard it. I love it though. I mean, we're kind of finally creeping over that, from winter straight to summer mark. We're supposed to have 80s this week.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
It's going to be great. Well, good morning, folks. You're listening to the Real Estate Radio guys here on WHYL in Carlisle, and today we're going to be talking about home warranties. Whether you should get one, whether you shouldn't get one, what are the costs, what are the features, what are the benefits. Of course, our favorite home inspector, John Staz, will be on later in the show. And what's going on in the market there, Kingsley?
Well, from week to week, they're up pretty much as high as they have been in quite a while, and it's just crazy because one day the market would tank. Then yesterday, actually, the market completely rebounded just from day to day. But overall, we're down. So interest rates are on the rise and up quite a bit.
Right. So I think the highest that I saw, that was published out there was about 5.25.
Yeah, I mean they're definitely over 5% for your conventional mortgages. We're still under 5 for FHA, VA, but yeah, I mean the general. I don't know when we're going to actually level out.
Right.
I'm hoping between 5 and 5.5, but it's so volatile over the last 10 days, even more so over the last 3 or 4 that.
And I saw something, they said that's not following the bond market or whatever. It's not following the normal track it normally does.
It's not. No, it's not. Because, usually when the market is way up, that they're taking money out of the bond market. And in this particular case, they're both actually kind of running parallel. It's crazy that interest rates for last week for a few days, the way the market was going, it was crazy that interest rates didn't go up. They maintained. And then all of a sudden, in one day.
Yeah, and I know we have the volatility, the choppiness in the stock market, but that has really, I always try to tell people, that really has nothing to do with it.
Well, it does and it doesn't. There's usually an inverse effect. I mean, through history, anyway, there's always an inverse effect. This past 2 months, it's just, you can't follow that.
Yeah,
there's no rhyme or reason to it, really, because every time a new report comes out, you just don't know how the market's going to react or how the bond market's going to react. And for the first time in a long time, the 10-year and the 30 are kind of mimicking each other.
It doesn't make sense.
No, I mean, because you see one direction and your rates are supposed to go up, but it's not happening. So if anybody can predict this market, start betting on in Vegas because you'd be doing all right.
All right. Well, folks, we're going to be talking here, about home warranties, and many of you have probably seen the television commercial where the husband's sitting there in front of his home insurance person, because his air conditioning system's out, and asking him if it's covered, and of course it's not. That's not a component that your homeowner's insurance covers. While there are many things that your homeowner's policy will cover over the years, that's not one of them.
Fire-breathing dragons, I think, was one of them, right?
Yeah, fire-breathing dragons,
yes.
Yep. But things that a home warranty typically cover are things like your appliances, your mechanical systems. Those are, the big things. Generally, a home warranty runs in that now it's probably really about $350 to $600 range. Prices have gone up on them. And coverage varies. I mean, we're going to compare about 4 of them here today for you. They all have different coverages, and there's things that you should look for if you are going to give a home warranty. And there's reasons why a buyer may want a home warranty or a seller may want to offer. I did see an interesting statistic yesterday, Kingsley, and it said that homes that were offered with a home warranty sold 23 days faster and for 4% more money.
I can believe that.
And I think that's because peace of mind.
Yeah. Well, no, here's the thing. I mean, in this market, if you're able to get 4% more in this market and we're already kind of pushing the boundaries, that would be phenomenal. That would be amazing.
Well, so folks, some of the things that like a home warranty will cover are things like the appliances, the refrigerator, the washer, the dryer, the dishwasher, your furnace. Some of them actually even cover things like roof leaks, which, may be an additional cost to have that included. Some will include spas, pools, septic system, well systems. So you really want to look through the coverage because each one is different. Typically, just like your homeowner's insurance or your car insurance, there is a deductible. It's not called that. They call it a service call fee. And I've seen those range anywhere from $50 to $75, and that's definitely something you want to look at when you're starting to tear apart the policy. Hopefully that when your real estate agent offers, a home warranty, maybe they offer you, if it's not being provided by the seller and you're the buyer, maybe their firm has 2 or 3 that they can offer you, and you can tear them apart and look and see what's best for you.
And also, I would, if hopefully you're with a seasoned realtor, perhaps he has actually used 1 or 2 of them and has some experience with 1 or 2 of them. Because for me to hear that whole warranty word scares me. Because how many times do you get a phone call from, "Hi, this is an important call regarding your vehicle." "Oh, you mean the one I sold 8 years ago?" And they're trying to sell you a warranty on whatever the case may be. And a lot of those, I don't want to say the word scam, but there have been a few of them out there.
There are in the home warranty. So you definitely want to check and make sure it's a well-rated home warranty. Some are actually underwritten or owned by, one of the ones we're going to look at today is written by American First, which is a title insurance company. So some of them are fairly big and fairly substantial, and they have some depth to them. Typically, a home warranty on most of these plans is going to run for a year. We have one today that is for a 2-year term. Some of them run for 13 months. They give you that baker's dozen of a month.
So let me ask you this question. Is a home warranty paid all up front? Is it paid monthly? How do they do that?
It's paid up front.
So you have to pay the whole thing?
Yeah. It's usually paid right at closing.
Okay.
So
this isn't for somebody that already owns a home to say, all right, let me get a home warranty.
Well, that's not true. Some of these firms will let you put it on an existing home, on rental properties, on duplexes, all the way up to 3 and 4plexes. Okay, so investors can also utilize these.
Interesting. You just have to wonder if it's cost prohibitive or not.
As a realtor, I usually recommend, if a home warranty is not being provided, to sort of gauge that after the home inspection's done and see what issues, the home inspector may point out. For example, maybe the air conditioning system or the heat system is getting to the end of its design life, or the water heater.
Now, do these plans, do they have caps?
Some of them do have caps. That's an excellent point. Some of them will cap you at like only $2,500 worth of repairs in a calendar year. So you have to really look at these policies. Some of them won't cover, for example, if they feel that the previous owner neglected the system and wasn't having, say, a furnace system regularly maintained, they may say that was the cause of it. But some then cover that.
I was going to say that's kind of like just a cheap way out.
Yep.
Your typical quote-unquote insurance. Sorry, can't help you. Well, what's the point of having insurance if your insurance coverage doesn't cover you?
Well, that's true.
Seriously.
Yeah, I know.
So I got into a car wreck yesterday. I'm sorry, we can't cover you because you didn't turn the wheel right.
Well, a lot of times, some of these companies do pay a little bit better or a little bit more proactive if they are some of them are actually owned by companies that provide errors and omissions insurance for realtors. So typically they tend to pay because they know other than that it could end up being an E&O claim.
Really?
Yes. American Home Shield is one of those.
Okay, and that's because most of the time they're being offered through realtors. I mean, is that the idea?
In other words, for American Home Shield, a lot of times they are a big carrier for E&O, and a lot of times some of the big franchise firms, that's who they run theirs through. And so they'd rather pay the home warranty expense
than have an E&O claim.
Yep, you got it. So your policy will basically replace a faulty component. So it's Thanksgiving and you're all of a sudden you don't have any hot water heater. You're going to have to make a call, and that's another place where you're going to want to check. Some of these places have 24/7 people to answer the phones and get you set up with somebody to come out and check. Some use local vendors to do the service calls, and some have to farm those out. So that's one of the things in the policies you want to check out. Let's talk a little bit about the advantages to a seller about offering at Kingsley on a home that's currently listed. If you list your home, you can offer a home warranty, and that actually gives you, with many of these policies, coverage while your home is listed. So now if your air conditioning goes out or your hot water goes out, typically you'll have to pay for that repair now or replacement.
Especially if it's vacant.
But then you'll get reimbursed at closing. Yeah. So, so that can be, peace of mind for a seller. Great point you just made there, especially if you had a vacant property. Let's say you moved to Florida and you have your house up here. It'd be an excellent reason to offer one.
Yeah, a realtor called and said, hey, by the way, your air conditioner's not working. What do you do?
Right, because typically that would be paid at closing, so there's no out-of-pocket cost for the seller until it goes to settlement, other than the repair, which you're going to have to pay for either way.
Unless the repairman is willing to bill you at settlement.
That's true. That's
theoretically. What if you have an offer on the property and the only thing holding you back from completing the sale is a faulty AC? Well, we have the AC repaired. It gets paid at closing from the warranty company.
Right.
And the sale continues to go through. You don't have to, give up your plans, whatever you're doing in Florida, sitting by the poolside, drinking your umbrella drinks.
Mai Tais?
Yep, Mai Tais.
Mai Tais.
For me, mojitos. That's actually a plus size. We already, know that it gets you 4% more in your purchase price, sales price.
A lot of times, I think for a first-time home buyer, it's just peace of mind because they're going from a rental situation where if something happened to the air conditioning, the dishwasher, the hot water heater, it was on the landlord to pay for that repair. And that way they sort of can not have to worry so much about their budget, because a lot of times the first time you're getting into a home, you're getting acclimated to making the payment, cutting your own grass, doing everything else you have to do.
And I've heard that many times. One of the, I don't want to call it an argument, but when you say, well, why do you want to continue to rent? Well, I don't have to worry about anything. If anything goes wrong, I call the landlord.
Absolutely.
And that seems to be one of the, the stumbling blocks that people have to transitioning to home ownership.
So it can give them peace of mind for that. It's a great way to look at it.
So typically with a home warranty, does the seller usually pay for this?
It can be negotiated. Anybody can buy it. A buyer could buy it, seller could buy it. Sometimes a realtor will offer it, for somebody, hey, well, if you list your home with me, I'll provide a free home warranty. So a lot of that can be negotiated. Typical cost, like I said, I'd say on average about $500. But it definitely is a very big, especially on an older home, reason to help a buyer separates you from maybe another home. Maybe they're looking at a couple homes in your neighborhood, and you've offered the warranty, so they know for the first year they may have a service call of $75 if the dishwasher breaks, but the other home they may be concerned about. I think appliances are probably the number one thing that fail in the first year that I've seen. I've gotten the calls. I know the dishwasher doesn't work, or it seems like the hot water heaters seem to be a main concern. I mean, have you ever had one go out after you sold a home?
Yeah, and I had a home warranty.
And how'd that work out?
It was, I don't remember the actual company that I had, but the way the coverage worked, I think within 3 or 4 months, the hot water heater went out on the house, and hey, we have a home warranty. Cool. So we called them up. We didn't really know how it worked at the time. And they said, okay, well, you got to pay a $50, $55 service fee. And when somebody came out and checked it over to make sure that, we weren't saying, hey, we need a hot water heater just for the heck of it. So you pay the service fee, and the guy's like, yep, you need a new hot water heater. Let me get that ordered. I'll have one in here for you tomorrow. And sure enough, it came in, and I didn't have to pay him anything other than the $50 service
call. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah,
deal.
Because that was probably a $400, $500, including the labor and the hot water heater at the time.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
So it was definitely worth having.
So that's a perfect example of where that peace of mind comes in. If you're a buyer, it's definitely something you may want to ask your realtor to ask the seller to provide, or budget it in. It can, $500 is not going to break most people on a mortgage, correct?
I don't think so.
Yeah, it's really not.
No.
It would add, maybe $3 to their payment?
If that.
Yeah.
So it's definitely worth it. And at the end of the day, if the seller's buying it or selling it, to you, if based off of statistics you're getting, that much more for your property plus selling it 23 days in 23 days? Or is it 23 days sooner?
They're selling 23 days faster.
So you save 23 days of interest on your mortgage either way. You're paying for it.
From that, when you look at that statistic, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah, because you're paying for it in the mortgage interest.
So, a warranty typically covers things like we've been talking about, the water heater, the heating and electrical system, sump pumps, whirlpools, and ceiling fans. And then they usually have an enhanced package that costs a little bit more, maybe another $100 to $300, and that's where you add in coverage for things like the air conditioning, sometimes the refrigerator, garage door opener. So there's a lot of different coverage that you can add in. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go to pay our sponsors and pay some bills, and we're going to come back and we're going to start to tear apart some of these different warranty plans.
Good.
What the hell?
Maybe we're not. So, tell you what.
All right, so we're going to...
Okay, so we've got 4... While our producer goes to grab our studio specialist, we've got 4 companies that we're going to tear apart.
Yep, we do.
And the first one is First American Home Buyers Corp.
Okay, so First American Home Buyers Corp, and that one is underwritten by a title company.
All right, and then the second one is HSA Home Warranty. Who owns that one?
I'm not sure who owns that one. And then we've got 210 Warranties, and then we've got Globe.
Globe?
Yep.
Okay.
All right, so we're ready to go to a commercial break now.
The Real Estate Radio Guys with John Rainville and Kingsley. The Real Estate Radio Guys with John Rainville and Kingsley Harmer. We'll be right back.
Searching for a home online morning, noon, and night, looking at website after website, clicking contact me and nobody does? Missed homes that were sold before you knew they were for sale? The better choice is searchhomesinpa.com. Search if you want, or they'll do it for you. Contact by phone, email, or text to adjust your search or to tour a property. Start online. They'll call you back at searchhomesinpa.com or call toll-free 855-919-HOME and they'll do it for you. Searchhomesinpa.com, 855-919-4663.
Buying a home? Your good credit could equal 0 down. Schedule for a free consultation today at kingsley.today and get started on the path to homeownership. NMLS number 1018. Good credit should equal better mortgage rates. Schedule for a free rate quote at kingsley.today and get your lower rate. NMLS number 1810.
Listen for the Real Estate Radio Guys with everything you need to know about buying and selling real estate. Saturday mornings from 8 till 9 on Oldies 102.9 WHYL. Buying or selling a home? For professional home inspection, call EnviroQuest of Harrisburg. Their certified home inspectors will conduct a thorough inspection and provide a detailed report with many pictures. They'll explain the findings. Do you have elevated radon levels in your house? Call EnviroQuest. They have fixed over 10,000 homes over the last 25 years. For a professional home inspection or radon mitigation, call EnviroQuest at 233-6144, 233-6144, or visit EnviroQuest online at evqharrisburg.com. That's evqharrisburg.com.
Back to the show, the Real Estate Radio Guys with John Rainville and Kingsley Harmer.
All right, so we're back, and as promised, we're going to tear apart, I think, 4 of the more popular.
Yeah, four ones that we see locally here.
Warranty
All right,
programs.
so okay, so you're going to do HSA.
I'll do HSA, and you
All right.
You start off with First American.
I'm
Home
doing
Buyers.
First American.
All right.
Okay, so First American, their initial base plan starts at $435. So wait, that's one I have. I thought you were doing HSA.
Oh, I am, but we're going to tear apart one at a time, aren't we?
No. I thought we were going to compare them.
Oh, okay. All right. Let's do that too.
Let's compare them.
Sheesh. All right. I'm going to compare away.
All right. So, so there are different packages. Like, for example, HSA will let you do multiple units, and it costs basically another $200 per extra unit. So you could probably do a fourplex for around $1,000. So here on First American, they now covered in the basic plan: lack of maintenance, unknown conditions, sediment, rust, and corrosion. I've seen that on heating systems, where they're rusted out and then the company doesn't want to pay it.
And this is for First American.
Yep, I'm on First American. You're HSA.
Okay.
What's the cost on an HSA plan? Basic.
Well, it looks like for a single-family residence, it starts off at $445 for a single family and $415 for a condo. And $985 for a fourplex, so up to about $1,000 for a fourplex.
So they're all within pennies, really.
And it looks here like for a trade call, I guess for a service call for somebody to come out, it says $75 per service fee. And that's obviously for them to come out and just assess the situation that you're at.
Okay, so now here on the basic plan with First American, it's $60.
Okay.
Now, if you go with optional coverage, then it's $75 for that service call. So, again, pennies, really, pennies. All right, so let's just see. Do you have, like, a list of basic covered items on that one?
Well, let's find out here. We've got, without HSA typical...
Okay, so this
blah,
one,
blah, blah, blah.
This one covers central air, the ductwork, heating, the kitchen refrigerator. But now that's not if you have your own and bring your refrigerator in. I think that's only if it came with the house. The washer and dryer, the water heater, the attic, and exhaust fans. That's another good thing because we have exhaust fans in our bathrooms and our kitchens many times. Plumbing stoppages.
Really?
Toilet tanks and bowls. Whirlpool bath motor air switch. And this is in their basic package. Pump assemblies, electrical system, telephone wiring. Does anyone even have that anymore?
I don't think that exists.
Range cooktop, the oven, a built-in microwave, dishwasher, garbage disposal, trash compactor. If you have one of those instant hot water dispensers, that's covered. And pressure regulators and central vacuum.
Nothing I can do about it. I mean, I'll check it out.
Interesting.
Go
All
through
right,
what's covered on yours.
So we've got the basic plan here, okay?
Yeah, we're just on the base.
This is the basic. So we've got the central AC heat pump, okay?
Okay.
The ductwork, toilet tank and bowl, plumbing parts, leaks, water, gas, drain, and waste lines. So if you've got a water leak of some sorts, or maybe a pipe bursts.
And drain lines?
Says and drain lines.
Wow.
Yeah. Routing of drain line stoppages, water heater, of course. It even has failures due to water heater sediment, which is a good thing. That's when you don't actually drain your hot water heater. If you live in an area like I do, where you've got major
sediment.
Hard water.
Oh, and sediment.
I had a hot water tank one time that just kind of filled all the way up with sediment to the point where your hot water heater gave you about 10 minutes of hot shower.
Yeah.
And that was it.
Now, I added in, we've gone through a couple hot water heaters at my house. I have propane, and we actually went to one of the tankless water heaters. And you have to want to check in these coverages to make sure that those are covered because they are a much more expensive item. And ours actually has a special sediment removal thing in it.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. So this one covers exhaust fans, ceiling fans, garage doors, refrigerators and freezers, trash compactors and dishwashers, oven, stove, ranges, microwaves. And on this one, it has failures due to lack of maintenance.
Yeah, this one says now covered in their maintenance plan. They say lack of maintenance, unknown conditions, sediment, rust, and corrosion is now covered, and that one too. So that's definitely a plus.
Now here's an interesting on this one here.
HSA.
Roof leaks on HSA is not covered if the seller buys the plan, but if the buyer buys the plan, roof leaks are covered.
I did not know that.
Now, I would be interested to find out where in this thing, if a roof leak occurs and they come out and find that the roof is inadequate.
You tear that one apart. So this, now on First American, we'll also do new construction coverage. So everyone always says, oh, well, I just bought a brand new home, and it comes in Pennsylvania with a 1-year warranty. And that's true. That's provided by the builder. And some of the builders actually out there offer like an RWC warranty on new construction, may cover the major components and structural issues up to 10 years. But if that is not the case, you can buy a First American plan, and they will cover you for years 2, 3, and 4. It's a different price. It's a little bit more expensive, but it is available. Now, does that, on your plan, I've got optional coverage. So let me give you some ideas of what some of the optional coverages here. You can go to a first-class upgrade. It costs you $75 for the buyer. If you want pool and spa equipment covered, that's another $150. If you have a built-in kitchen refrigerator, I guess like a Sub-Zero, that's $50. An additional refrigerator is $25 a unit. Well pump, $80. So if you're not on public sewer and water, you want to look at the warranty that you're being offered and make sure. So let's say that the seller's buying that. You might say, and they're not giving you that extra coverage, you may want to kick in $80 and get that coverage now added in. Septic tank pumping is another thing that can be included in this First American warranty.
Washer and dryer. Do you have that as an optional coverage?
No, in this one it's included.
Okay, this one you have to pay an additional $70 with HSA.
Okay,
for washer and dryer coverage.
This one, First American says that the heating, air conditioning, ductwork coverage for the seller costs another $60, and that's only good for the first 180 days the property's listed.
Swimming pools is an optional coverage. So
how much does that run?
That's $150 for the optional coverage. Now, I'm just going to go back here because I did tear into this a little bit. The coverage for the roof leaks, right, is a $750 aggregate roof leak only repair. So don't think you're going to be getting a
new roof,
a $300 warranty here, and they're going to replace your roof for $10 and $15 grand. Not going to happen. It's just going to cover the leak itself up to $750. And I guess aggregate means, once you hit $750, that's it for the year.
All right, so on this First American, here's some things like for that first class upgrade, which only costs $75. Okay, so now it's going to cover, pay them an extra $75, and now it's going to cover plumbing, my faucets, okay, with Chrome Builder Standard, shower head and shower arm, hose bibs, and then toilets replaced with light quality up to $300. Then it also covers in your heating system the registers, the grills, the filters, the heat lamps.
So, here's my gut feeling on this. And this is,
smoke detectors.
My preliminary thought on this. This kind of reminds me of going to the casino. And you and I have been to the casino once or twice.
Once or twice.
And, you go in and you have all these 15 different games, that they have lined up. You've got poker, you've got Bing Howell, Chow poker, Texas poker, all these different pokers that have 15 or 18 different rules,
and
right?
our boy Jesse, what's that game he likes to play?
Oh, God.
Baccarat,
yeah.
I can't understand.
I don't like that game.
It's over my pay.
So these warranties give me like a huge feel of basically it's a gamble. Because they have this down to such a science.
You're hedging your bet.
Yeah, but they have this down to such a science that if I spend $550, let's say, on one of the premium packages, I've got a $750 aggregate for roof leaks, right? So I'm hedging the bet that if I spend $550 now, I'll get $750 benefit out of it later, right? So it's just like anything else. You've got 1 million customers paying in for this plan, and they've already hedged the odds in their favor, like a casino.
That's typical insurance. They know the numbers.
Right.
They're working off the numbers. So on mine here with the First American, they've got 24 hours, 7-day a week phone coverage. For you to call in for the. See if you've got to say you've got a problem, and if you do buy one of these, you always want to call them before you ever call like your homeowner's insurance or something like that, because your homeowner sometimes covers some of these things, sometimes like some roof damage, and so you want to see who covers what, because it may actually both cover part of it. So 70, then they say within 72 hours, the service call will be completed. Does it tell you that on that one?
Yeah, let's see.
I can't do anything about it.
Trade call fee.
Okay.
You're obligated to trade call fee, $75 to $100. Cost repair, whichever's less. Additional trade fee for a period of 90 days. Your payments must be made prior to completion. Let's see here. 30 days after receipt. Now, I don't see anything as far as... I'll find it in here.
All right, so back on the First American. So, like, if you had a heating system repair replacement, on a heating system runs between $130 to $3,500. Your cost of the First American with the warranty is $60. A water heater could be up to $1,500. Again, it's only going to cost you $60. Dishwasher up to $1,250, only $60. Air conditioning up to $4,000, only $60. Oven or range up to $2,700, only $60. Kitchen refrigerator up to $3,800, only $60. Plumbing work up to $7,500, only $60. And electrical system repairs up to $2,500, only $60. That's a pretty substantial peace of mind for, $500 for the year. I mean, in my opinion.
I agree with you. And I'm looking through here all the aggregate cost. But I guess here's my question.
Yep.
Let's just say, for example, I've got here that HSA will pay up to $1,000 aggregate towards plumbing failure. Okay?
How much?
$1,000 towards plumbing failures requiring access through concrete, stone, rock, or brick. Okay? So if I have a plumbing leak and it costs me $1,000, and then 3 weeks later my refrigerator goes out, do I get to use both coverages, or because I used $1,000 aggregate on my plumbing, my contract's null and void.
Well,
I used
thought
it
you
all
said
up.
that was just on the plumbing.
Well, it does say that, but I mean, is there a total aggregate on everything?
Not on the one that I have, not with First American. So, I mean, but that is something you want to know, is how much do they cap you, because some of them do cap us out. So we're going to pay our sponsors again, and then we'll be back and have a little bit of a discussion before we talk to Mr. Staz this morning.
All right.
The Real Estate Radio Guys with John Rainville and Kingsley Harmer. We'll be right back.
Searching for a home online morning, noon, and night, looking at website after website, clicking contact me and nobody does. Missed homes that were sold before you knew they were for sale? The better choice is searchhomesinpa.com. Search if you want, or they'll do it for you. Contact by phone, email, or text to adjust your search or to tour a property. Start online. They'll call you back at searchhomesinpa.com or call toll free 855-919-HOME and they'll do it for you. Searchhomesinpa.com 855-919-4663.
Buying a home? Your good credit could equal 0 down. Schedule for a free consultation today at Kingsley.today and get started on the path to home ownership. NMLS number 1018. Good credit should equal better mortgage rates. Schedule for a free rate quote at Kingsley.today and get your lower rate. NMLS number 1810.
Listen for the Real Estate Radio Guys with everything you need to know about buying and selling real estate. Saturday mornings from 8 till 9 on Oldies 102.9 WHYL.
Everyone wants to buy, sell, or invest in real estate, if only they knew the best way to do it. Hi, I'm John Rainville.
And I'm Kingsley Harmer.
And we're the Real Estate Radio Guys. We bring over 40 years' experience to talk about all things real estate.
Weekly, we'll discuss the latest trends, hot topics, along with tips and techniques that could save you thousands and eliminate headaches.
So tune in to the Real Estate Radio Guys, Saturdays at 8 a.m. here on WHYL 102.9. Real topics, real answers for real people.
Buying or selling.
Back to the show. The Real Estate Radio Guys with John Rainville and Kingsley Harmer.
How much does that cover?
Okay, so we're really, getting into these, and the HSA seems to have a lot of caps that are much lower. Well, Kingsley, what would you ask me? What was the cap?
Well, the central AC and the central heat or heat pump.
Okay, $3,500 on the heat system.
Now, see, I've got a $1,500 aggregate charge here through
and
HSA.
$4,000 on the air conditioning.
Yeah. So
this one's the winner so far.
I'm voting for that one
First,
so far.
First American.
First American so far is more robust.
Well, I think our favorite home inspector's on the line, and then after we talked with John this morning, we'll come back and
we'll tear into the other two.
Good morning, John. How are you doing?
Hey, good morning. Great. How are you guys doing today?
Good. It's a beautiful day out there so far. I guess we're going to get some rain later on, but I'll tell you what, it was gorgeous driving in here.
Yeah, it's real foggy where I am in Des Moines here. How about where you guys are?
It was in the valley. The low spots definitely had fog, but on the higher ground where Kingsley and I always are, it was sunny.
Sunny, I can see for miles.
You guys are basking in the sun, eh?
Now the rain is gone.
So, John, what are you talking about today, buddy?
So, when we do home inspections, we get a lot of people asking us about water quality and water testing, and we do water testing as part of home inspections if it's requested or needed. So, just wanted to go into some of the basics of water testing and water quality. In looking at it, there's basically two categorizations of testing. There's what I call cosmetic things. So that would be like if you're on public water and it's got a little bit of a chlorine smell and, you want to get rid of that. Or hardness, that's what's considered a cosmetic item because it's not really to do with your health, but it has to do with, enjoyment or the quality of your water. Then the other category would be health things, such as if you have nitrates or bacteria in your water. So those two categorizations, usually if you're going for a bank loan that requires a water test, it relates back to what's called the Clean Drinking Water Act, where they set parameters for certain analytes. Sometimes we get people saying, yeah, I'd like to get a water test, and then we get to the house and we say, hey, well, it's on public water, and then we notify, we let the customer know, hey, you can go to the municipality or the water company and get a printout of all of the things that are in your water. You don't have to get a test from us. You can get this printed out from the water company.
So, John, what you mentioned nitrates and nitrites. What is that usually like from farm fields? What's that come from?
Yeah, the two most common health-related analytes that we find in this area would be bacteria, and that can come from either access to the well, like surface water, like you don't have a good cap on your well and surface water is getting down into the well, or as you get development, more and more houses, people have septic systems, so the water quality can get degraded where you find bacteria in the water. The nitrates, that usually comes from farmland. So there's a lot of farmland around this area, so that's one of the things that we find. Two most common contaminants would be bacteria or nitrates.
And what are some of the other things that people typically treat the water for?
Well, going back to the cosmetic things, a lot of times you have that chlorine smell. People don't like that. The commercial where they say, "Oh, you're good. You have the allowable amount of lead." The water purification companies, they use that like, "Oh, you really want the allowable amount of lead. You don't want any lead." And so they have aftermarket filters and things you can. And then once you get into the filtration, there's what's called point of use, where that's just a small filter that goes near your kitchen sink or wherever you want to put it. But point of use is just filtering water for one location, or a whole house system, which that usually goes down near your well equipment, which will filter for the whole house.
So these filters that are put in, do you guys test or check for hard water at all?
Usually for a real estate transaction, hardness, it's not. That's more of a cosmetic thing. And, a lot of these water companies, the water treatment companies, they advertise like, "Hey, we'll come out and do free analysis." Now, the type of testing that you need for real estate, that's not going to be a free analysis because there's very strict parameters that it has to go to a certified lab. So, the type of water testing that you need for real estate loan, you're not going to get that for free, but the cosmetic things like hardness and pH and things like that, they can definitely affect the water quality. There's a lot of companies that sell the equipment. They'll come out there and give you, free testing. You hear it advertised on the radio.
Will water hardness at all affect? I mean, I'm just thinking that it'll affect. I'm going to tie this into appliances here. In our warranties.
Sure.
The harder your water is, obviously, the lower lifespan, let's say, of a hot water heater, right?
Sure. Yeah. And there's, one of the critical things that's in the Drinking Water Act is pH. So there's particulate matter that's in your water, and if your pH is off the balance, the way I look at it is, so you have this debris or junk or muck or whatever you want to call it that's in your water, and depending on the pH of your water, you want that stuff not to deposit too much on the inside of your pipes. So if you have what's called aggressive water, where none of that stuff deposits, then the water will actually start to eat away at your plumbing and the joints and solder or whatever that's in your plumbing. On the other hand, if there's not enough acidity or the pH is off in the other direction, then you get too much of that slime building up and it keeps building up. So you want the pH to be balanced so that the slime builds up, but then it clears it back off, so it keeps like a little bit of slime on the pipes, but not too aggressive to protect your pipes, but not so much that it cuts off your water, your water flow. You get low water pressure, get deposits. So
and with that being said, it sounds to me like pH and acidity would have more of an effect on, copper plumbing as opposed to PEX piping.
Sure, yeah. So that's during a home inspection. There's certain types of piping that have problems, like, for example, galvanized piping that was, 50 or 60 years ago. What that stuff does is it starts to rust from the inside, and then it slowly rusts the pipe shut. And then, so we go into a house, you see it's got galvanized piping, there's low water pressure, like, hey, there's certain characteristics of different plumbing that we look at that can be good or bad.
So when we're talking about copper plumbing, and I've had this happen in my house where some of the copper plumbing would start to have these little pinholes. So it's almost, the pipes are corroding from the inside out, right? Is that because of too much acidity, pH? I mean, what's going on there?
Yeah, well, that's an aggressive water. That's aggressive water, yeah. So it's not allowing that slime to build up to protect your pipes. It's starting to attack the pipes, and that's one of that can be to a pH imbalance. So.
I don't like the word slime. You make me sound like it's just got this slime flowing through my pipes, and I'm bathing in it and drinking it, and so we use a different word. Let's come up with something else other than slime. How about
grunge?
What about good slime?
All right, good slime. I think of Ghostbusters, and every time I hear slime. So, all right, so hard water can definitely affect the pipes that you have, acidity, pH. Do you test for any of that when you do a home inspection, or?
Sure. That's an option when you order a home inspection. For example, like VA and FHA, they each have their own set of parameters that they want analyzed. So when somebody orders a home inspection, they say, hey, it's a VA loan, so we do a series called the VA series, which tests for certain things that are required by the underwriter.
Interesting. And what about the well? I mean, does that have any sort of correlation between whether your water's hard or not, pH? I mean, let's talk about a well and or septic. Does it matter what kind of water you have?
Sure. So, you hear about people, oh, my well's really deep, so like in a mountain or something where they have to drill really deep. Obviously, a lot of times you get some better water quality the deeper the well is, because the water is like better filtered as it filters from the surface down into that well. So you can get some better water quality there. When you're close to a stream or a river and you have a more shallow well, it goes to say that a shallower well oftentimes has more water quality issues because there's not as much filtration that occurs as that surface water filters down into the water table.
Interesting. So different sediments, et cetera. Wow. So
exactly.
If we've got somebody that thinks they have a water issue, I mean, this obviously is right up your alley. What's the best number to contact you on to say, hey, John, I need to check my water system, my well. Perhaps they have a water softener and they want you to see if it's working correctly. What's the best number to contact you on?
Best number to get us, 717-233-6144.
And online, as always, at ebqharrisburg.com and on Facebook, EBQ Harrisburg, correct?
That's it.
John, thanks for coming on.
Have a great weekend, John. We'll talk to you next week, buddy.
You guys do the same. Thanks.
All right, so 2 more warranty plans, and you've got the 210 there, and I've got the Globe warranty. I'm seeing the Globe warranty here, which is interesting. They also have optional roof leak repair.
What's the aggregate coverage, though?
$500.
Okay, so it was $750 on HSA.
Right, and so I see, and what is it in there in 210? I think, well, here, I see it. It's $500.
$500 aggregate?
Yeah, so that seems on the roof leak about what they're going to give you, right?
Yeah, and the other one was $750 with HSA, but a lot of their other coverages were lower. So right. You really do have to play these numbers.
So, all right, so looking, we're comparing, this other one, because like Kingsley and I are telling you, you've really got to read through these, and a lot of homeowners, a lot of realtors don't, they just, I got a home warranty. All right, so let's just go down and tear through this. You've got your list here. I'm going to go with what Globe covers. In their standard package, air conditioning, I'm sure yours does, heat system, ductwork, plumbing system, electrical system, water heater, dishwasher, garbage disposal, built-in microwave, of course your stove, your range exhaust fan, the refrigerator, the bathroom exhaust fans, the Whirlpool bathtub is included in this one. Toilets is included, trash compactor. Really don't see many trash compactors anymore, do you?
No, but I can tell you firsthand that I'm going to be getting one. I had a little pipe issue, and for whatever reason, the drain pipe to the kitchen sink just kind of fell off.
Did you have a warranty?
I did not have a warranty on this one, right? So as I'm sitting there with my, hacksaw, because I got to cut out some of the plumbing and redo it, if you don't have a trash compactor, let's just say that these pipes over the course of several years since I put that kitchen in have built up quite a bit of slime, and this is true slime. No, this is true, what did you call it? Grunge, yeah, and it ended up all over me. In any event, trash compactor is a good idea to have in there. Just a little side note.
Trash compactor. Well, yeah, okay. I would use it for recyclables, to crush my recyclables. But okay, so another thing that in this one, in their Globe warranty, they have some advanced packages. They have a 3-star plan, a 4-star plan, a 5-star plan. So, other than that, folks, they like to tell them, bronze, silver, gold. They're all going to have an upsell. But when you spend more, like for the Globe, then your service fee drops from $75 per call to $50. But on the most expensive plan, it goes back up to $75. Here's an interesting thing. Freon recapture is covered here in their upgraded plans, and I know on most AC things that would be an extra cost, I guess.
So, and I was listening to you, read through all of the coverage systems under your basic plan, and that's pretty much the same, I think, for the most part, across all of them.
I think there's an interesting thing there. I noticed, though, in the 210, on their warranty, they will cover lease option homes. So if you're leasing it with an option to buy, that one will give you coverage where the other ones, when I tore through them, won't. So that might be your only option. If you're in the lease option, is to use that 210 warranty.
Yeah, and new construction.
New construction.
Up to 4 years.
They all seem to offer new construction at some cost.
Yeah, I think that's, to me, new construction's kind of like, thanks for your money. So I was reading through the aggregates on this 210 warranty, okay?
Okay.
And a couple of them that I kind of, narrowed in on is, the expensive systems that if they go bad can cost you, a bit of money. And I'm looking at the heating system in particular, okay? So I go over to the heating system on this puppy. And
could they make the print any smaller on this?
I know.
I mean, my goodness, folks.
Okay, here we go. Heating. So heating has an aggregate meaning total, whether it's geothermal, whatever the case may be, $1,500.
Well, that's not too much.
No. Air conditioning and heat pump. Now you can do 2 separate systems. $1,500 aggregate coverage. Whether it's water cooled, refrigerant lines are $500, geothermal water systems are $1,500. So, $250 per service fee. So,
all right. So let me tell you this. This is on the Globe. Globe has a $25,000 aggregate limit per contract period. So if you have it for a year, it's $25,000, $5,000 per mechanical system.
Okay, that's actually pretty good.
That is pretty good.
That's not bad at all, because most of these I don't think go that high. And the reason I bring that up, and you have to keep this in mind as a homeowner, what are the odds that you have 4 or 5 systems go bad in a year? If you do, then, bad luck. But if you have an AC or a heat pump go, that can cost you anywhere from $3,000 to $7,000, depending on the size of your unit.
Absolutely.
So if you've got these warranties that have an aggregate coverage of $1,500 per occurrence or per unit, you're still going to be out of pocket, anywhere from $2,000, $3,000 up to $5,000, right? So you're paying $500 to get an aggregate coverage of $1,500 on a unit per se. Let's just say on that one, is it worth it? Honestly, is it worth it?
Yeah, I think so. I still think it could be. It's still less money out of your pocket, even if you got, if they capped it, it still saved you money.
So it comes down to the chicken or the egg routine.
Right.
Or the old, it's better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it.
Yeah, I think it's good to have for the first year. I mean, I think it's definitely good. But one thing that's important, folks, is that if you do get one of these, you need to read what you're getting and see if there's any optional coverages that you may want. And you need to keep this handy because there's going to be a number to call in case you're calling for like a service call. Do not leave that settlement table without a confirmation number. Do not leave the settlement table without a confirmation number or a copy of the policy. I do know that Globe, we've used Globe at our firm for a number of years. Globe actually sends the actual policy to the realtor to go to the settlement with for their client. So I really like that. Not saying that impacts anything, but I like to have something that gives me, here's the actual policy. Here are all the numbers you need to call in case it is. Here's your confirmation number so that you know that you have the policy. So, Kingsley, it sounds to me, when we're tearing through these four, that the ones that we really like are First American.
First American.
First American.
So far seems to be one of the higher aggregate amounts.
First American, and then also the Globe seems to be. I mean, they seem to crush the other ones. But there may be instances where that 210 warranty, maybe you're doing a lease option on a home.
Right.
Okay, so some of these, in certain instances, may be a better buy or the only option available for you.
Well, and here's what it comes down to for me. I mean, these two seem to be a little bit more robust.
They do. They absolutely do.
So then this 210 and HSA, I would we'll cancel them out, right? So we'll just take HSA and 210 and kind of toss them to the side, aside from particular circumstances. But the First American seems to be a little bit more robust. It seems to pay a little bit higher on the bigger systems like the heating, air conditioning, and for the rest of them, they seem fairly close. I mean, as far as, let's say, your plumbing all seems to be about $1,000, give or take a little bit. So at the end of the day, it really comes down to each individual house. Okay, so let's say, for example, you're buying a house, and most of these are going to be for, previously lived in homes. That's, what I foresee. So you've got this home, they just put a new roof on, and they just put a brand new AC system in, a whole new, brand new heat pump.
And a lot of times that happens. You're buying a house that's already got, new mechanicals or new appliances. This may not be a great something you need.
But what I'm saying is this one seems to have a higher aggregate for your AC and heating system. So if the house you're buying already has a brand new one, the odds are that you're not going to necessarily need to cash in. But the other Globe has a higher aggregate for, let's say, plumbing or electrical.
$25,000, that's huge.
So actually looking at these, I would look at the two of these. I mean, for me, that's what I would narrow down to.
I'd probably pick between the Globe and the First American.
I would look at the coverages that you're concerned about when you go into a house after you have a home inspector like John look at it and say, hey, look, your hot water heater is 10 years old. Your washer,
ding, ding, ding.
Your washer and dryer, which are coming with the house, are 10 years old. The refrigerator is the avocado refrigerator, that I've got in my house, right? So you've got three systems right there that are in the back of your mind that are concerned.
You know that an avocado refrigerator is never going to die.
Oh no, it's going to continue going on. I might actually have to buy one of those illegal cans of refrigerant somewhere to charge it back up. But the systems that are weak on your house, tear into these. Find out which one has better coverage.
Ask your realtor for your options.
Yeah.
And if they do, and if you're buying it from a different company, they, maybe Century 21 has a set of warranties that they have, maybe Brokers Realty has other ones that they have, and look at them, look and see what your options are.
And I've seen some where the realty companies actually offer warranties. And much as I hate to say it, there are some mortgage companies out there that have offered home warranties as kind of an incentive to go with them too.
Correct.
So look at your options. It may or may not be worth it for you, but it's certainly something to look into.
So, if you're looking to get pre-approved for a mortgage this weekend, who should they call?
Well, they should call me.
Or if they even have a question on financing.
If they have a question or they need a pre-approval because they're getting ready to put an offer in this weekend, give me a call.
Absolutely.
My cell phone's always on.
And what is that number?
Well, that I'm not going to give out. But I will give you out the office number that will be routed to me over the weekend. You can call 717-200-4800. Pretty easy to remember. 200-4800. Or you can go online at pagoloan.com.
And if you're looking to buy or sell a home, if you have any questions on any real estate questions, feel free to reach out to me. I will give you my